Now, it's not your mistake. It's not your problem to be born in a very poor family. It's never your problem. It's never you to be blamed to be born in a very poor family where you were looking for food to eat, you couldn't get it, where school fees was a challenge, you couldn't even go to school, where you never had the father that was responsible, your mother was reckless. It is never yourself to be blamed for that. Where you lived in want, where there was no money, there was too much misery. No one should blame a child for having been born in such environment. But listen up. If you grow up, you start thinking for yourself, you start working, but you remain in that stagnant environment. You remain poor. You remain hopeless. You remain planless. You remain in debt. You remain a beggar. You remain a servitude. You remain a subordinate. You remain a pauper. There is a problem with your thinking. There is a problem with your thought process. The problem is no longer your parents. The problem is not the government. Stop blaming the government for everything. The problem is not God. The problem is not your relatives. The problem is not your love partner. The problem is here. The problem is you. Being born in a poor family, growing up in a poor environment, no one is going to blame you for that. But choosing to stay in that environment, we are going to blame you for choosing badly, to stay poor, to stay stagnant, to stay in an environment that doesn't progress you. My name is Kato Mukasa. I'm an international commercial lawyer and entrepreneurship coach. This is Think Better Consultancy. In the studio is my comrade, my workmate, Dennis Bongole, who is making sure that this comes to you live. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, also on Facebook. Think Better, Do Good Better, so that you can be able to see this and many more videos. We call them master classes on entrepreneurship. This channel is on one thing only: business and entrepreneurship. Interchangeably, we use that word: business and entrepreneurship. How to get out of poverty, how to make it as business owners, as owners of startups. How to build a business through frugality is the masterclass today. Welcome. Let's talk about frugality. What do you mean when someone say, "Are you frugal?" The first time I heard about frugality was from my grandfather, John Bassi. That guy taught me frugality. He knew English. That was the bit of it. But also he knew accounts. He did accounting at the coffee factory he was working, but also director. And that guy was the master of frugality. Let me explain to you in examples so that you can get it properly from my angle. When we went to John Bassi's home, there was no cook. He had no wife. My grandfather, the father to my mother, had no wife. My grandmother died so many years ago. So when we went to his home, we were the cooks. We were the farm workers. We were the cleaners. We were everything. But what was interesting is this. When the time for meals came to eat food, John Bassi had a rule that, number one, no one was going to serve you food. You have to serve yourself food. So everyone, food could be put on a table. We cook it ourselves. Everyone has a day to cook. And then I don't serve any other person. I put the food on my plate. And John Bassin's rule was that whatever amount of food you put on your plate, you must finish it. My friend, dare and leave that food on your plate. John Bassi would literally kill you. Now, we grew up being so frugal when it came to serving yourself food. Even if it was drinking tea, John Bassi would look at you, the sugar is there. It doesn't tell you how many spoons you put in your cup, but it looks at you and see what you do with sugar. And you are careful because John Bassi never took sugar when he was aged. He was old. By the time I was staying with him, he was about 70. But very hardworking, very normal, very healthy. Didn't take sugar, but he will look at you, he puts sugar there in a big barrel and looks at you how many spoons of sugar you put in your cup. And they say, do you want to die of diabetes? You should take 1 spoon, at most 2. Frugality. Frugality. John Bassi lived in a small house. He had lots of properties. He was very wealthy. He lived in a very small but neat house. And it was the reverse of my grandfather, the father of my father, who was so rich and wealthy, but also lived in a very big house, a house of 11 rooms. It was the house in which my grandfather Mukasa lived, the father to my father. But John Bassi, the father to my mother, lived in a very small house, very well built, but small. It had about 4 rooms, of course, with the sitting room. Small but neat. And he could say, this is enough for me. John Bassi rode a bicycle to go and work. Yet he had money to buy a car. He had farms. He had plantations of coffee and bananas. He had plantations of trees. We call them forests in our small ways. You could buy a car. His son, my uncle who works with me, Vision, had offered to buy him a car. He refused the car. Frugality. Have I explained it? So frugality means living below your means. I'm using my own definition. You won't find it in the dictionary. Living below your means. Not above your means, but with a vision to achieve better investment goals. Living actually below your means, but with the vision to achieve bigger investment goals. Frugality. You have a home, you have 4 children, you want to take them to school. Are you going to feed them on chicken, beef, and all the good food? Or you're going to make them eat less of so much of they want and then save money to take them to a good school? Frugality. Are you going to buy the most expensive shirt in the world, the most expensive car in the world, when you need to build your own house so that you can be able to secure a future? Or you buy a better car and everyone sees that you have a better car? Are you going to build rentals so that they can give you money? Or you're going to build a house worth so many pounds, so many shillings, yet tomorrow you are begging people for money? Frugality teaches you where to put money, when, and why. So building a business through frugality means that you are going to have an opportunity cost. It means that there is an alternative foregone in economics. We call it opportunity cost. That you look at your expenses vis-a-vis your income, vis-a-vis your dreams. Let me repeat that. You look at your expenses, a list of your expenses, and then you look at your income in your account. Then you look at your goals, and I call them investment goals, not liabilities. investment goals. Now, frugality means living a life without debt. Today, what is disturbing people today is something called debt. I wish I had with my card here, I would have shown you my credit card here. I live in the UK at the moment, so I have card. We don't normally touch cash, we use cards. So I would have wanted to show you a card and tell you how easy it is to get a loan here. My bank was asking me, I'm happy to have the leaflet from my bank, and I'll make an advert for them. It's called Leod Bank. It has been there for over 300 years. This is my bank, Leod Bank, in the United Kingdom here. But my bank was telling me about how easy it is for them to give me a loan. The time I opened up an account, they were telling me, oh, you can get money as long as your credit is so good. You can get money. Kato, you can get money. Now, if you're not so smart, you're going to get money, buy a car, buy an expensive phone, buy good clothes, buy whatever you want. Everything's so smart. And then you're going to enter the debt trap. Consumerism is finishing humanity. Consumerism. You want to have the best TV screen in the world. You have to have the best car in the world. But the question is, can you afford it? I'm repeating it for you to understand. Can you afford that lifestyle? Can you? Have you worked so hard to qualify to live like a king? Or because you got that job, you think you have arrived? Sorry, you have not arrived. I have not arrived here. I'm far from arrival. I'm very far from arrival. I cannot take a loan unless it's for investment and unless I have calculated that investment very well. Frugality means that you know exactly where to invest. You know money must be invested in passive income, stocks, dividends, shares. You save in real estate. You save in plantations. You save in bonds. And all those things where money can come when even you are sleeping. Because now it means that tomorrow, that money is going to help you build a strong business. When the business is surviving only on oxygen, your passive investments are going to be feeding you, are going to be paying school fees for your children. You avoid a life of begging. I hate begging in my life. Frugality means discipline on money matters. Frugality means having a mastermind that advises you where to invest, why, and when. Do not rush into buying. Consumerism is killing people. In my book, which then will show you later, not now, as we conclude, think better and do good for yourself. I have a rule, a topic where I talk about consumerism, and I give you 5 tips I learned from my grandfather on when to buy, why to buy, and why not to buy. In that book, I tell you what my grandfather taught me. Now, you have to learn to think creatively. You have to have you have to create an emergency fund. Frugality means that you save for what we call a rainy day. We all know that not every day is going to be so good. Some days are going to be hard. Are you going to be running GoFundMe every time your child is sick? Every time you lose a child, you are begging for money. Every time people are going to school, you are begging for money. Not every time we should be begging for money. Frugality means that you must plan for an emergency fund. You have an emergency fund so that if you had a problem, at least halfway you solve it yourself. You lose a child and don't even have money for a coffin, but you are very busy having sex and protected to have this child. Where is your frugality? Where is your planning? You cannot beg people for school fees each year, each term. You cannot beg people to buy you food. Frugality is the discipline. You must avoid debt and pay down your debt. That's my principle. Pay down your debt. If there is a debt you haven't paid, and honestly it's there, sometimes people create debts because they want to have stories. But genuinely, if you took a debt and you never paid it, please pay it forward. Pay it. You have to live a minimalistic lifestyle. My grandfather lived a minimalistic lifestyle. Minimalistic, minimal, doesn't mean you are poor. No way. Minimalistic means that you want to save on every opportunity you get. In Europe here, when you go to buy in a big supermarket, they ask you, are you part of the customers with the card that gives you bonuses? So that because when you buy in that company shop, they give you a card or they put in a system where they can reduce for you. So that instead of paying £2, I may end up paying £1. Frugality means buying smart. Frugality means being conscious before you spend. It means having a budget. It means thinking long term. You have a budget. I can't be going to a shop with my children and say, Daddy, buy this, Daddy, buy this. And whatever they say, I say, yes, yes, yes. What am I teaching my children? What am I teaching my sons and daughters? If whatever they want, I buy for them. I have to tell them we cannot afford to buy this today because we don't have money. In fact, I have to teach them to work for money, to work for themselves and earn that money. So you have to be informed. Read investment books, read saving books. Frugality means being financially informed. We call it financial literacy, alert. You have to create opportunities for yourself. Every opportunity does not appear by accident. Opportunities are created. There are no miracles in this world. There are no miracles from any God. There are no miracles from any heaven. Miracles are created by you and by people who love to do good. If someone gave me a car today, I will call it a miracle. But not from a God, from this very person who is happy with the work I do. Miracles are created. Opportunities are created. You cannot simply dream an opportunity and it happens. When you dream, you take an action. So, never rush into buying. Think for yourself. Track your expenditure. Please have a notebook where you write your income and expenses. Income and expenses. I earn £5,000 in a quarter year. So how much do I spend on rent? How much do I spend on gas? How much do I spend on food? How much on medication? How much on this? You live below your income. I repeat, you learn to live below your income so that you can have money to save and invest. So you have to remain minimalistic. You have to be careful when buying. You have to have a budget. You have to stick on your budget and on your plans. You have to make an opportunity cost alternative foregone. You have to make sacrifices. When I buy this, I lose this. Then let us look at the photos very quickly, and then we are done with this masterclass. Look at that. When you keep on dragging yourself in the past, you can never progress. Look at that photo. When you keep on moving backwards, trust me, you will never progress. And that is frugality in a way. Learn from your mistakes. Life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. You get stronger by saving, by eating less, by spending less. The first step is always the hardest when we are going to be frugal. How can I eat 1 meal a day? Yes, if you cannot afford it, why not? Why not? If you want to save some money, sleep in a simple house. if you cannot have the money for a big house is so good. We all love big houses. I love a big house personally, but can I afford it is my question. If I cannot afford a big house, I will sleep in such a small house. And I don't want to be miserable, always holding myself. I must have hope. I must have hope. Look at this man. He marries 7 women in one day. This man in Congo something in Uganda, he marries 7 women in one day. How do you save when you marry 7 women? When you keep 7 women in one house, how on earth do you save and invest for the children you are going to produce? That is poverty coming. There is no way you can tell me that that man is going to maintain that wealth even if he had it for another 10 years. Today I'm speaking it, mark my words. This is 2023. If that man can maintain that wealth for the next 10 years, come and we challenge me. Success is important, but you work for it. Success worked for. You are here because of your excuses. You must dream bigger and get better. Always rejection propels you forward. Yes, people are going to say, you are so frugal, you are so whatever. Never mind them. If you have the chance to make someone happy, just do it. Sometimes people are struggling silently. You may be, your act of kindness can make their day. Please, make someone happy. Be frugal, but yes, make someone happy. The 7 rules of life. Dennis, I'm going to make them bigger. Yes, I can see them. Make peace with your past. Yes, never be bugged by your past. What other people think about you, it's none of your business. They say, oh, that guy is so frugal. That guy drives a very bad car. It's not your business to worry. Time heals almost everything. Don't forget about it. Time is the best chance to learn. Now, no one is in charge. You are in charge of your happiness. Never mind, someone is going to say, I put on a very bad shirt. No, it's your life. You are having a bigger dream. Drive that bad car. Drive that second-hand car. It's okay to have a second-hand car if you cannot afford a brand new one. Don't compare your life to others. They have their own life. You have yours. You have your own struggles. They have theirs. You have your own dreams. They have theirs. You have your own family background, which is not so good, maybe. They have their own life and family. Mind your business. Stop thinking too much about others and about your troubles. Smile when you can afford it. Then we shall end with that one. Coffin is waiting for us, because all of us are going to die. Why do you worry about death? Someone say, if I don't eat my money, I'm going to die. Look at this photo between Nigeria and Cameroon. Look at that road. People are simply walking to go and find means. If you are going to eat a banana and it's going to make you healthy, eat it. Education is not the ultimate. I have 3 degrees, which actually may be useless. So education is not good enough if you cannot think. Buddhism teaches us one thing: frugality. Buddhism teaches us frugality. Choices, chances, and changes is the 3 C's we must make in life. Choices, chances, and changes. Very important. Newton's second law states that you shouldn't waste a big effort on a little matter. Exactly. Thank you, Newton. Never spend so much effort on useless things. Think for yourself and do good better is my book, which has all this knowledge. Please get yourself a copy today by visiting Amazon, and everything will be okay. You have supported us to make more of these masterclasses for free. See you in the next one. Be better, be good, stay calm, stay positive, stay frugal, be minimalistic where you can. Think big, invest long term, and make this world better. See you in the next one.